Hi everyone, welcome to another Procreate tutorial. This is the drawing that we will be completing in today's video. If you are new here, I mainly post Procreate tutorials, so if that is something you are interested in, go ahead and subscribe. Otherwise, before we get started, the only thing that you will need to do is download the color palette and the font that we will be using in today's video. Once they download for the color palette, all you need to do is double click it to open it up and it'll automatically import into Procreate. For the font, you will need to import the font into Procreate, which you can do so under the font menu. When you add text, there's a little import button there. Or if you need extra help, go ahead and search up a quick YouTube video or tutorial online to help you get that imported. So take a second to go and get that all done and ready to go, and then come back and we'll get started. Okay, first things first, we will go over the canvas dimensions. They are 10 inches by 10 inches at 300 dpi. The color profile that we're using is the second one on the RGB list. And for our layers today, by the end of the video, we've only used about 5 layers. So that is all you will need. You can check how many layers you have available by checking here. And if you need more layers, you can always lower your dpi here to get more. This is the color profile that we'll be using today, just 5 simple colors. So let's just go ahead and get started. The first thing that we will do is set our background color. So let's go to our layer menu, click on our background color layer, click on this first color on the color palette to set it to that color. Next, we will go ahead and lay down our text. So we will already be on layer 1, but when we add text, it will add it on a new layer by itself. So to do so, let's go up to the gear icon here, go to add and click add text. Then you'll have this little text box pop up. Let's go ahead and do our typing first. So click this keyboard and we are going to do hello, return 2022 with an exclamation point. It might be hard to see it on the screen here because we haven't changed the color. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to triple tap. And then I'm going to click on the color wheel in the top corner here and click on the second color on the top, or this orangish color, orangish reddish color. That'll make the text probably easier for you to see, and that'll change it to the color that we want it to be. With that all selected, go ahead and click on this double A at the bottom to bring up our font menu. First things first, we'll select this font that you downloaded, this Excalibur Nouveau font. That's the one that I would like to use today. It looks pretty retro, but you can go ahead and use any font that you would like as well. Now I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so that we can get our sizing and everything set up here. So we're just going to kind of increase the size and the kerning until we get it how we like it. But let's go ahead and widen this box here first of all so that we have more room to play with. But I'm going to go ahead and set the kerning to, 12 to 15%, somewhere in there. We'll just end up at 14.5%, and then our size will be about 170 points. So get it to somewhere around there. Everything else at 0, opacity at 100%, and then click done. Then we're going to click the arrow tool at the top of the screen. Make sure snapping is turned on. And then we're just going to snap it to the center of the screen where you see both yellow lines, the horizontal and the vertical. Next, let's go to our layer menu. This is our text layer. The one below it is just our original layer 1 that came with our canvas that we aren't really going to use anyway right now. So let's go ahead though. We are going to make the outline to our font. So let's go ahead and on this text layer, slide to the left and click duplicate. On the bottom layer, go ahead and click on the wand icon, click on Gaussian blur, and we're going to adjust that to be about 15%. And this will rasterize the text layer so it just turns it into a normal layer. We won't be able to edit the text or words or a font or anything after it's rasterized. So just make sure that you're aware of that. We are going to set the Gaussian blur. Next, go ahead and click the selection tool, have it set to automatic with nothing else turned on, and I'm just going to click on the background of this layer. As you can see, it's selected around our Gaussian blur to give us a nice like outline shape to our letters. So you might need to lower and increase your threshold a little. If you do this, you can see what it's selecting. So I want the letters to touch in the middle. So go ahead and make some adjustments to your threshold until you like how the outline will look. And then when you like it, go ahead and click invert here so that we actually end up selecting the inside portion. Let's go up to our color palette and switch to this first color on the second row. And then let's grab a brush. With all this still selected, grab a brush, open up the menu, and under materials, select this first Avalon brush. Set the size pretty high. I have mine at about 50%. And then I'm just going to drag all over the letters, pushing down hard enough to fill that all in. Awesome. Then you can just click the selection tool again to deselect it. And now we have our outline. Next, we are going to make a duplicate of this layer, the one that we just made, the outline layer. So slide to the left on it, click duplicate, select the bottom one, click on it, turn on alpha lock. Select from our color palette the second color on the second row. Go back to our layer menu, click on this layer, and click fill layer. Since we have alpha lock turned on, it only filled in the same shape that we had above. So then let's click our arrow tool and we're just going to drag it down and to the right a ways till we get to about here. Then let's go back to our layer menu on this layer. Let's click on it and turn off alpha lock now so that we can make some adjustments. Click on our brush menu and we are going to select the monoline brush under the calligraphy tab. Same teal color here, the second one on the second row. And I'm just going to zoom in and we are going to, with our brush set to about 50%, we are going to connect these with a line. So we're going to connect our teal layer to our cream colored layer where there's gaps here to make it look like a big block. So just start underneath the cream color here in the corner, draw a line, hold it down until it turns perfectly straight. If you need to, you can click edit shape at the top to make some adjustments. And if there's any space here, just fill it in between the line and the next layer. And we're just going to do this everywhere where it's really necessary. So we'll do another one up here. This teeny little bit that's sticking out here, I'm actually just going to erase it. It's just like small enough to not really make a difference. But then let's switch back to our brush and then again connect these L's. And the O can be connected a little bit. It's harder to see because of the way the shapes line up. But it makes a little bit of a difference. And then the bottom, we don't need to do anything except for this first one that we did under the H because the rest of it just, doesn't need to be connected. It already is. Then let's go on to our next layer down here. Okay, and that is it for that part. Next, we will go to our layer menu, make another duplicate of our original cream colored outline layer, drag it below all of our other layers, click on the layer, turn on alpha lock again, go to our color palette, select the first color on the last row, go back to our layer menu, click on this layer, click fill layer so that it turns a grayish color. And while we are here, click on this N on the layer to change the layer style to multiply, which is great for shadows. Then let's click our arrow tool and we're going to drag this one up and to the right, about like that. And then again, back to our layer menu, click on this layer and turn alpha lock off. Same gray color selected, the first one on this last row, same monoline brush, and we're just going to do the same thing that we did before, connecting these to make it look like it came straight from this shape here. So again, connect them kind of corner to corner. And then we are going to add some shadows to the blue layer that we created here, the teal outline layer. So to do so, we are going to add a new layer above our teal layer. Click on it, turn it into a clipping mask, and then click on the N and again drag this up to be a multiply layer. Same grayish color, same monoline brush. And we're going to start over here on the H, and we're just going to create some shadows as if the sun were coming from the upper left corner. We're going to create some shadows on the bottom right sides of everything. So for example, we're just going to kind of use these little bumps to help us. So this first bump, we're going to create a shadow in a kind of diagonal motion and just kind of add a little block of shadow like so. Same thing, start at this hump and another little chunk of shadow there. This side where the H is, it will create a shadow on the bottom portion of it, but I leave the top out as if the light would hit that. Same thing on the bottom of the E here, from the hump all the way down. And I'm just trying to keep my angles kind of consistent throughout, so they're all just going a little bit down and to the right, all the way across. And then on the end here, we will make one that just kind of goes all the way around the bottom right section. So a little bit on the bottom and also some up the side. And then we'll do the same thing below. This little bit that's showing here will all just be a shadow. And then again. And this will just all be in shadow here because it's just in the middle of all this. And then for the exclamation point here at the bottom, we'll just make a little section on the bottom right, and then we'll pause. We'll leave this part alone, and then where these humps are, we'll connect them and go most of the way up this side, leaving a little bit at the top. But that helps to add some more kind of 3D effect to our letters. And now that this is all done, I'm going to go to my layer menu, select all the layers, so click on one and then slide right on all the others. Click the arrow tool And with uniform turned on, I'm just going to increase the size a little bit and then recenter it till I see both yellow horizontal and vertical lines so that it's all right in the center all together there. And then lastly, to add a nice little retro effect, I am going to add a new layer on top of everything. With this layer selected, I am going to click on the wand tool, click on noise. I have it set to clouds, and then these are the rest of the settings that I have set up. I am going to slide and adjust it to be about 20%. And then I'm going to increase the scale of the noise a little bit to maybe 25%. Open up the layer menu again, click on the N and drag this up to multiply as well, so that adds more of a darker hue rather than a lighter hue. And that adds just a nice retro effect to our entire picture here. And that completes our drawing today. So I hope you had fun. If you did, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more tutorials from me in the future. If you would like to share your drawing on Instagram, I would love to see it, so go ahead and post it and then tag me so that I can check it out. While you're there, go ahead and give me a follow so that you can see what I'm working on next. Thanks for watching!